Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrienne and today I'm going to be telling you my favorite books of 2022. Now, I didn't actually plan on making this video, but I realized I was slacking on my channel this year. I know. So there are a lot of books that I read and really enjoyed that I never documented and vlogged and posted on my channel. So I'm doing this video just because I do have some books that I really enjoyed that stuck with me through the year and I want to tell you about. I was having a lot of trouble finding the books that I wanted to show you, so I am missing, I think, only one. Who knows? So I'm going to talk about that first, and that is Prosperous Demon by KJ Parker. Most importantly, I have to thank Billy for recommending KJ Parker to me. I know that I'd heard of him before, but I wasn't really considering picking anything up until Billy recommended him. Prosperous Demon is the first KJ Parker book that I read, and I loved it so much. I thought the writing was fantastic. So it's a 100-page novella that follows a man who has the ability to see demons that are possessing people, and he has the ability to exorcise them, and he basically keeps people safe by exorcising demons out of them. And he gets involved in this plot that I can't tell you or review spoilers, but since it's only 100 pages. But the book talks a lot about art and beauty and just things I was not expecting from a book about demons. I did post the vlog where I read that book, and any books that I mention I will post the link to the vlog if there's a vlog where I read it in. So Prosperous Demon, amazing. This list is not going in any particular order, but I do have a #1 best book of the year, and that is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. This is a brief history of humankind. I love, like, this book is one that I'm passionate and can gush about, but I don't even know what to tell you about it. So it's basically discussing humanity from the beginning, like when there were other homos besides sapiens, and why homo sapiens are the only homo species that survived, and just discussing humanity from the beginning to the cognitive revolution, to the agriculture revolution, to the industrial revolution, and just like, it's so good. So this book is, I mean, it is a textbook. I loved it. Just discussing different parts of the world and what humans have done, and religion is a huge discussion. He is an atheist. He's very respectful about his discussion on religion though, but I loved discussing the collective imagination of humanity. I mean, there were so many parts of this book where I had to reread it and reread it because I was enjoying it so much. And honestly, I don't think I learned much from it. Like, I did learn some nuanced things, but overall, I feel like most of this is stuff we all know from school, from history, from biology. But just the perspective I had while reading it in this format, while discussing it in the way it was given to me, was really eye-opening about some things. It's very beautifully written, but very accessible and easy to understand, in my opinion. The discussion of gender, of money, of languages, and the discussion of before the cognitive revolution, there was no history, it was just biology. I don't know. I think this is the best, one of the best books I've ever read in my life. So anyways, this was brilliant, is what I'm saying. Next up, I'm going to highlight not a favorite book, but a favorite author, Megan Miranda. I read at least this many, maybe more, but I think I've read every Megan Miranda except for All the Missing Girls, which was actually in my to get rid of pile before I picked up my first one of hers. So basically, Megan Miranda is a thriller author who, for some reason, I just click with. Like, the way she writes her stories. Now, these often involve murder and mystery and sometimes people in troubling situations, but for some reason her writing makes the story comforting to me. Like, it feels cozy. And for example, this is the last book I read by her, The Last to Vanish. It's her newest release. This book follows a woman who works at an inn in the mountains, and there's a history of people who went missing hiking in the mountains. There's a mystery of, did everyone who vanished really disappear hiking? What else could be going on? There's a lot of local mysteries in the town, and just that small town vibe And the mountainside inn and the weather and the settings, like, it was so comforting. This is the first book of hers I've given 5 stars. I feel like she and Lisa Jewell's my other new favorite thriller author from this year. I feel like they've made me rethink, what does a 5-star rating mean to me? Because when I finished this book, it again felt like a 4-star, just like I think I rated the rest of them, because of the reveals, the plot twists, the delivery of surprises doesn't feel like a 5-star, but my overall enjoyment of the book feels like a 5-star. So now I'm not sure, how do I rate things 5 stars? But this one I rated 5 stars because, I don't know, when I finished I was just like, I love Megan Miranda and I can't wait to read more books by her. And if that's not what 5 stars means, I don't know what is. But also I enjoy the discussion of, just because you don't give an author 5 stars, maybe ever, doesn't mean they're not a favorite author, and doesn't mean, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I enjoy books that I rated 4 stars more than I rated 5 stars. Maybe it's just I'm the problem, actually. Now when I say that all out loud. But Meg Miranda, I think, is amazing. But if you try one of her books and you don't enjoy the first 50 pages, I mean, I just don't think she's for you. But she's definitely for me. I think she's fantastic. Now, back to nonfiction, which I need to read more of this year because I obviously love it. And I feel like I kind of know my taste in nonfiction more now than I did before. So, The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs. A New History of Their Lost World by Steve Brusatte. This book is literally just about dinosaurs. I mean, it's 400 pages. So it's Steve Brusatte sharing his experience as a paleontologist, the research teams he's been on, the people he's worked with, the discoveries he's made, the discoveries that humanity has made, and just talking a whole lot about dinosaurs, but in a very enjoyable way. I mean, if you want to learn more about dinosaurs. But also I love the discussion of science in here and how, you know, science feels so factual, and it is a lot, mainly hopefully factual, but how we're always one discovery away of everything we thought we knew changing. For example, when we found out T-Rex dinosaurs probably had feathers. But no, it was, if you like dinosaurs, read this book is my point. Next up is an author who made my favorites list last year too, and that is Black Mad Wheel by Josh Malerman. Last year one of my favorites was Unburied Carol. This year it's Black Mad Wheel. So this book was sitting on my TBR for years and years, and it is about a sound in the African desert that is hurting people, disorienting people. Nobody knows where the sound comes from. It can disarm weapons, disengage nuclear weapons. The United States Army wants a US Army band, because they're sound experts, I don't know. They recruit them to go to Africa to find the sound. And it's really weird. The sound also makes you like just start vomiting all over yourself and just makes you so ill, even a recording of the sound. And we're following this group, our main character guy, Philip, and his band, the Danes. They go to Africa to try to figure this out. Oh, and it's also set right after World War II. So that's an added interesting bit to it. The book starts off with Philip waking up in the hospital with all of his bones crushed, pulverized, broken. And we know that's the state that he's in after coming back from Africa. So we're in present day, him being taken care of in the hospital, and then flashing back to him and his band's journey going to Africa to find the sound. And it's really, really strange, but it's so engaging, captivating. What happens, I don't know if it's an ending that a lot of people would like, but it was one that I very much enjoyed. And it's just weird, fun horror. Hello, it is hours later, but I wanted to slip in here and tell you one book that I forgot. Well, actually I didn't forget it. I lost it under the couch cushion when I was sitting here. So, Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. Now this book I know is not a lot of people's favorite and doesn't get the highest ratings, but I recently read this and loved it. So this is a mystery thriller that has a sprinkle of magic, is how I'm going to describe it. I've seen it described as, for fans of The Magicians. It says on the back cover here, a brilliant whodunit in the vein of The Magicians. Absolutely not. The Magicians is a magic school fantasy book. This is a mystery thriller set in a magic school. I loved it because I love the genre bending. I loved that there's like 15% magic. I love that we never ever understand the magic, and I really enjoyed just the mystery thriller part because I love mystery thrillers. So this follows a woman who doesn't have magic. She's a private investigator, and she gets hired by a magic school to look into the death of one of their teachers, which the police have ruled an accident, but someone at the school thinks that she was murdered. And it also discusses this main character's twin sister does have magic, and she works at the school as a teacher. So it's discussing like these two different lives, how magic affected their relationship, how being unequally gifted affected them as sisters. And it's just so good. And I feel like magic is a metaphor for a lot of things, and it's just wonderful how the magic is on the page sometimes, but we as a reader never understand the magic because the main character never understands the magic. So even when someone tries to explain what magic is like, we can't even fathom because the main character can't fathom. And the disparity between the main character's life that she has and what she thinks she could have had if she had magic was so good, and that's why it's a favorite, and I love it. But I don't recommend it because I don't know who I'd recommend this to. Because if you just love thrillers, maybe you don't like magic, and if you are interested in magic, don't read it. So maybe if you like thrillers and a little sprinkle of magic that you're never going to be satisfied by big magical things, maybe you could enjoy it. Next up, since I'm talking about horror, I want to mention a novella by Stephen Graham Jones called The Backbone of the World. It was, I think, 50 pages or less. Maybe, I don't know, it's definitely less than 100 pages. And it was so strange, but intriguing. And I read it in March, I think. And I thought it was so good. So if you're looking for a quick little novella in the weird horror category, which if you've read Stephen Graham Jones, you know he writes weird stuff. But it follows this American Indian woman who has this property that her husband owned from his family, but he died or left or something happened. So now she has the land, but I guess his family wants to take it back from her, so she's staying on this land. A weird person comes to stay in the trailer on her property that she's renting out, and then she has this prairie dog infestation that she's looking into, and it gets really weird really fast. But I just loved the ending, and I loved what was happening. And I know I've heard people say they didn't understand what was happening, but if you understand what was happening, I don't know. Stephen Graham Jones is brilliant. Next, I have a very weird thriller, and that is Confessions by Kanae Minato. This is translated from Japanese, and it is about a woman who is talking to her classroom of students and saying that she knows one of them killed her daughter and she wants revenge. And it is a little dark. She's a little unhinged, but she's like taking revenge because her daughter died on the school property. The book is broken up into different parts, and we follow different people in it, and they're all like dark, twisted people, and it's all related to this school. Like, it's all people from the school or people in our main character's life. It was so good. I can't even tell you more about what I feel like I'm not explaining it enough. I did read this a while ago, but this book is so twisty turny, and how each part ends with a big twist reveal is so much fun, and exactly why I read thrillers. And then finally, I'm gonna mention an author just because I don't like him, and he wrote a book that I loved this year, and that is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I have disliked and DNF'd multiple books by him, and I thought I was done reading his books. But then I decided to read books for a vlog where I was reading Literally Dead book club picks, and I decided to give him one more chance, and I loved this so much. So this follows a woman who's drunk all the time. I don't always love that perspective, but for some reason it worked in here. So she's staying in a house on a lake, and at the very beginning she saves her neighbor from drowning in the lake. Things get weird with that neighbor. She disappears, and our main character is trying to figure out, did the husband do something to her? But then she's also involved with other people in the little lakeside community. There is a storm coming. She is preparing for that. and she's also dealing with issues from her past, issues she has with her family, and things just get really crazy in a way that I love. Again, a reason I read thrillers, I just love a crazy, twisty surprise. So if you have any crazy thriller, twisty surprise books that you recommend, please let me know. But those were all of my favorite books from this year. I was thinking about doing a least favorites, but I just don't passionately care about any of my least favorites right now. So, oh, also I did want to say though, I have been traveling for work. If you don't know, I travel for work. So I was thinking today, like, what was my favorite trip of the year since I've been doing a lot of traveling. And I have to say, it was New York, which wasn't a work trip. I went with my boyfriend. But New York City was everything I ever dreamed it would be, and I can't wait to go back. And if I had to pick a work trip, it would be the last time I went to Orlando because I went to Disney World. So next year I'd make this video. I'll have a whole lot more trips to choose my favorite from because I'll be doing a lot of traveling in 2023 for work starting in like 1 week. So if you're interested in travel vlogs, or in particularly travel reading vlogs, then check out the other videos on my channel and what I'll be posting soon, because I'm just gonna be doing a lot of traveling and reading and posting it on here. So if you're into that, check those videos out. Also, let me know what was your favorite book of the year, especially if you have similar taste to me, and especially if you have a recommendation for if I liked Sapiens or if I like Meg and Miranda. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.